The deck becomes even more potent once branded support is released. We get things like Branded Fusion and Mirror Jade. Here's hoping not all the cards that I just mentioned are ultra rares, as I don't really have the materials necessary to craft them right now. Well, shit. Greetings and salutations everyone, this is No Code Gaming. I'd like to welcome you back to another Master Duel video. And in this video we will be going over the newly released selection pack, Newborn Dragon. Particularly the new branded support, Branded Fusion, Libitum the Searing Dragon, and Mirror Jade the Iceblade Dragon. These three cards give Branded Despia quite a beefy upgrade. Branded Fusion allows us to fusion summon using cards from the deck, and that's always a potent effect. And because we are mixing in Despia, there is a lot of card advantage to be had when sending a Despian monster to the GY using a spell cards effect. Libitum allows us to fusion summon by shuffling cards in our GY field or face-up banished cards into the deck. So again, good resource recycling. And last but not least, Mirror Jade the Iceblade Dragon has a soft once per turn non-targeting banish. And the cost, of course, is to send an Albaz fusion monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. 9 times out of 10, that will likely be Albion the Branded Dragon. We pick Albion so that we are able to set or search out a branded spell card at the end of our turn. Now, what I have on screen is a variation of the Branded Despia deck that has topped the OCG tournaments, and unfortunately that does include the Adventure/Brave engine. But if you don't want to run it, we can simply do this. If you don't want to run the Adventure package, well, we can use Edge Imp Chain package instead, or you can simply add more tech cards. With Edge Imp Chain, we actually lean more heavily into Guardian Chimera. Instead of having an Omnia Gate, we now have a non-targeting Destroy and a Draw. Now let's look at the deck proper, starting with Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler, of course, is a on your opponent's turn during the main phase, you can target a face-up monster, then this card from hand to GY, negate that monster's effects. Despian Comedy is here to protect our Despia monsters as well as our fusion monsters. Despian Tragedy allows us to search out our other Despia monsters if Despian Tragedy is banished or sent to the GY because of a spell cards effect. That can include as a fusion summon or as the effect of Branded Fusion. Maxx is here to help us draw cards if our opponent is brave enough. Ash Blossom Joyous Spring, of course, it's a search negate, very good card. Water Enchantress of the Temple is here to search out Aramesir for the adventure package. Fallen of Albaz is here for our Branded Fusion plays, as well as just a good pseudo super polymerization. Aluber, Jester of Despia is here to search out Branded in Red, Branded Opening, or Branded Fusion. So this card is basically our other one card starter. Wandering Gryphon Rider is here as an Omni Negate for the adventure engine. Libitum of Despia is here to help recycle our fusion monsters. More on that later. Nibiru, the Primal Being, is here to punish combo decks that decide to just continually summon. Harpie's Feather Duster, tech against back row. Foolish Burial is here as tech for water. Foolish Burial is here as another copy of either Water Enchantress of the Temple or Despian Tragedy. Lightning Storm, again, more tech. Pot of Prosperity is always a good card. It allows us to send 6 from our extra deck, or 3, and then excavate the top number of that cards on our main deck and pick a card from them, and then pick a card from that pile, add it to our hand. Rite of Aramesir is here as our adventure token, so works in conjunction with Wandering Gryphon Rider. Branded Fusion, the key card that has been released finally for Branded Despia. So, as earlier stated, Branded Fusion allows us to use our deck monsters as fusion materials, and that is just straight up good card advantage. Dracoback the Ridable Dragon is a bounce back to hand. Fateful Adventure is here, of course, for the adventure engine. Called by the Grave, tech for going against Maxx or Ash Blossom. Crossout Designator, again, really good card, as because we are running some of the most popular tech cards, we can use Crossout Designator to negate said tech cards if our opponent is also running it. Branded Opening is here to help search out our Aluber. Branded in red is here as another fusion spell in order to bring out Mirror Jade for the reset of their once per turn. I'll show you that combo later. And Infinite Impermanence is here as a, of course, tech card to negate our opponent's effects. Predaplant Dragostapelia is here as tech against other fusion monsters, as you can actually use Fallen of Albaz to go into Dragostapelia. Titaniklad the Ash Dragon, again, it's another target for Despia, and yeah, it's a good card, as if this card is sent to the GY, you can actually use it to special summon or add to hand a Dogmatika or Fallen of Albaz, so you can search out if need be. Albion, the Branded Dragon. This card is basically almost the same as Titaniklad, however, if this card is sent to the GY, you can get a branded spell infusion and set it directly from the deck onto the field. Despian Quaertis is here to help counter some of our non-fusion opponents. Masquerade, the Tax Dragon, allows you to, just punish your opponent for continuing comboing off while this card's on the field. Mirror Jade. Yep, Mirror Jade. This card allows you to do a non-targeting banish, and if it's destroyed or sent to the GY because of your opponent's card, it destroys all monsters on the field at the end phase of that turn. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But how do we go about resetting the Mirror Jade for that turn? Because it is a soft once per turn. Well, that's simple. Apparently you would go Mirror Jade, banish, activate Branded in red. Hopefully you have an Ad Libitum in hand because it's a key part of the combo. Branded in red activates, use Ad Libitum and Mirror Jade to summon what have you. I would suggest either Masquerade or Quaertis. And from there, Ad Libitum's effect activates, and you can add the banished Mirror Jade back onto the field, and you can now activate Mirror Jade's effect again. Libitum, the Searing Dragon, allows us to fusion summon by shuffling cards back from the field, GY, or faced up banish, so it's a rather potent card to help recycle some of our monsters in the late game. Guardian Chimera, non-targeting destruction, and a draw card. Additionally, it has protection if you are playing Polymerization / the Edge Imp package. Relinquish Anima is actually here as a failsafe, because if I open nothing but Tragedy and a Branded in red, I can at least get a Masquerade or Quaertis on my turn. This combo, of course, goes normal summon Tragedy, link into Relinquish Anima, activate Branded in red in hand, and you now have 2 monsters necessary to summon a Quaertis or a Masquerade. And you still get the search off Tragedy as well. And last but not least, Predaplant Verte Anaconda. If you do not want to run Verte Anaconda, another card was released, and that is the Dark Charmer. You can actually use this as a replacement to Verte Anaconda if you don't want to run that card. Anyways, that's it for this version of the deck. I'll see you in the replays. And here we are with the first replay against Sword Soul Tenyi. And in our opening hand, we drew quite a really good hand. We have Veiler and Imperm to disrupt their turn 1 plays. We already have Gryphon Rider and Water Enchantress to work in conjunction in order to have a Omni Negate turn 1. And we also open Branded Fusion, so we don't really need to search it out. So of course they just go Ecclesia, summon Moyi, and of course we Veiler Moyi, forcing them to pass their turn. This face down is either going to be Infinite Imperm or a Sword Soul Blackout, as is normal for Sword Soul. So, of course, we start out with the Water Enchantress and the Gryphon Rider, so that we have a early Omni Negate. We can also use it to bait out the Sword Soul Blackout, which we successfully did. And of course, we just slap on a Wandering Gryphon Rider to have a extra monster to attack with. We cast Branded Fusion. We send, of course... This is actually my mistake. I actually sent Aluber and Albaz. I was planning to send Albaz and Despia. So when I finally realized my mistake, it was too late. And then, of course, we get a Lubellion the Syrian Dragon. Activate Syrian Dragon's effect. Discard the Imperm. They have an Effect Veiler, but we can attack for 4,500 this turn. Yes, so pay attention to what cards you send with Branded Fusion. It'll save you some headache. And because this is Sword Soul Tenyi, I maxi as early as possible. And here it was actually quite curious because they picked Draco Berserker and not the Yangzing monster that can bounce two monsters on the field. I would have gone with that because it's a lot better in this case. But they go in just for the attack. And because they got rid of a fusion monster, I can activate the Aluber in Grave and negate the Draco Berserker. So I guess I was a bit lucky in sending Aluber at the beginning of the duel. And of course, Draco Berserker cannot attack twice now. And of course, my turn. Just activate Aluber. They activate Berserker in response, but hey, Aluber's still there. And I get a Branded Fusion, activate Branded, and this time I send the proper cards. A Tragedy and a Fallen of Albaz to get a Lubellion once more. Lubellion activates. And Tragedy activates. Tragedy, we shall get an Ad Libitum. And with Lubellion, we shall summon our Mirror Jade. Mirror Jade, of course, is the non-targeting banish effect that is a once per 2 turns, but if it's a soft effect. If you are able to bounce or resummon a Mirror Jade, you can actually use its effect again that turn. Of course, we'll just banish that, and opponent concedes from there. And yeah, that's the first replay. One thing is I am still learning the deck, so I recommend that you do pay attention to what cards you use for branded opening. And here we are with the second replay. And as you see in my opening hand, this is the perfect going second hand. Unfortunately, I am going first. So honestly, I can't do anything. I just pass the turn and hope that they don't set up a really good board. I see that at least they're playing Adventure, so Ash Blossom. Ensure that they can't find a Gryphon Rider, nor can they find a Water Enchantress. And Branded Fusion. We shall Maxx see that. Of course, always Tragedy and a Fallen of Albaz going into Lubellion. Lubellion activates. And then, of course, we shall be effect veiling that Lubellion. We don't want them to get that Mirror Jade. Motions continue. Lubellion is negated, but they still have their normal. And they went with Branded Opening. Attacking in for 25 and 1800. So I'm behind. Okay, so normal summon Aluber, the most common play in the world. Get a Branded Fusion, activate Branded. They Maxi. I Ash Blossom. They called by. Do they call by? They don't called by. Okay, so at least the Maxi gets negated. Tragedy and a Albaz. Go into my own Lubellion. Lubellion activates. Send a... Ooh. But here's the thing. Because the mirror match, I believe the prevalence of the branded fusion / branded Despia in the meta right now, playing Crossout Designator in a branded Despia deck is just really, really good right now. As I can simply banish a branded in red, and they can't do anything about it. Because you can't cross out a crossout. As crossout is now limited to 1. But they keep going and they chain a branded opening. So of course they get a Aluber. Branded in red negates. I get a ad libitum. And we use Fallen and Lubellion to get into Mirror Jade. We will then see our opponent get 2 cards from this, with Aluber and with Tragedy. And as Mirror Jade, we want to prioritize getting rid of their Lubellion, because if we get rid of their smaller monsters and then get rid of the Lubellion afterwards, they can actually just use Aluber to come back. Attack those 2. And turn. And because we used Albion for the effective Mirror Jade, we can set us a branded in red. Pass the turn. Now here is the main thing for Mirror Jade. So in the previous turn, we already used Mirror Jade's banish effect. Now I'm going to show you how you can technically reset Mirror Jade. All you need is a branded in red and a ad libitum in hand, which in branded Despia is quite easy to achieve. You just need to be able to search out ad libitum using your Tragedy, and Albion is used to set a branded in red directly from your deck. So they Fallen of Albaz. I Despian Comedy here, mainly because it limits what they can fusion summon. They can actually use my Mirror Jade to get their own Mirror Jade, so that's why I traded out Mirror Jade with a Comedy. They're now limited in this case. They're limited to a Lubellion or a Despian card. In this case, they got Despian Quaertis. Now Despian Quaertis activates, I react using branded in red and getting the Tragedy back from the graveyard. And with 3 cards, we can now get out our big boy Guardian Chimera, Edward. And of course, Guardian Chimera activates. The 2 cards I want destroyed are these 2, the Fateful Adventure and the back row. I don't want to target this yet, as it could negate a card because of how chain works. So I get Mirror Jade. Again, Aluber from the Tragedy, and Guardian Chimera draws me 2. And from there, opponent just concedes. And that's the mirror match against Branded Adventure. If you are able to disrupt the plays from Branded Adventure, you can actually beat the deck. It's not that complex of a deck if you know the choke points. The choke points, of course, are Lubellion or Branded Fusion. And here we are with the last replay with Adventure Brave Branded Despia against, I believe this was a Eldritch deck. Or a Dogmatika Eldritch. That's why I think they have like, yeah, they have a 60 card. So we start off with Water Enchantress to get Rite of Aramesir and normal summon Aluber. This is why I'm against having Brave Engine in this deck now. It's because of this duel. Because if I activate right, I can't activate Aluber's effect. So it's really, I want to be able to play what the deck was designed to do, and that is being a branded Despia deck. If I wanted a Brave Adventure deck, I would play Prank Kids instead. So of course, summon Aluber, get branded. And bim bam, this is bread and butter, ma'am. We have Despian Tragedy and Fallen of Albaz sent to the grave in order to summon a Lubellion, the Searing Dragon. Lubellion activates. You'll never guess what card I'm going to summon using Lubellion. Tragedy. We get Aluber, so we have a follow-up play. Use Lubellion and Fallen to get... Oh, I wonder. It's going to be Ice Jade. And we simply pass the turn. I let them draw. And of course, I just Ash Blossom this. They called by my Ash Blossom. You want to make sure that they're not searching out their Eldritch spells. Guardian of the Golden Land. Step 3 pass. That's always fun against Eldritch Floodgate decks. Mirror Jade can only do dragons, so that's unfortunate. And they banished my Mirror Jade. And of course, Mirror Jade's effect activates, so all their monsters are destroyed at end of turn. So instead, I just pass. Activate Tragedy's effect to set a branded. Never mind, they Solemn Strike it. Luckily, I have another Aluber to search out a Branded Fusion. And we go the motions again. Branded Fusion activates. They have a Maxi, that's fine. We'll just summon 2 for them. We get a Ad Libitum. Get a Lubellion. And because of Ad Libitum, we get another summon. I'm basically able to summon 3 off this. They're able to draw 3, but hey, summoning 3 is always fun. So, Mirror Jade. And Lubellion summons a Masquerade. Masquerade's always fun against Eldritch decks. And of course, Mirror Jade's effect activates, destroying all their monsters. I'm just gonna search. Masquerade's gonna stay there. And of course, they get rid of Masquerade. This is one of the reasons I love Mirror Jade, because of Eldritch. Eldritch is not able to be destroyed, but it can be banished. Ta-da! I honestly just love how potent Lubellion is in a branded deck, being able to recycle even your banished cards. So yeah, Lubellion, I know people give Mirror Jade all the praise, but Lubellion's so good. Don't knock Lubellion, people. We'll set a branded in red, and pass the turn. Activate branded red in the draw phase. That's fine. And then We have 3 cards. I chose Mirror Jade as material so I can banish again if they summon an Eldritch. Guardian Chimera, destroy 2, draw 1. 2 I want to destroy is the summon and the other one. However, they're required to activate their trap cards now. So they summon an Eldritch. I just ignored the Eldritch because I can just banish it. We're bringing out a Mirror Jade again. Chimera, destroy those 2, draw 1. Called by the Grave. I got lucky on that draw, not gonna lie. Then Mirror Jade, banish their Eldritch. This is all during the draw phase, heads up. Yep. So, another key example of why I don't think the Adventure Engine is actually necessary in the branded Despia deck. And with that, let's get on to the conclusion of the deck and my overall feelings. So, overall feelings of the deck. I don't think the Brave/Adventure Engine is the best option for branded Despia, because Rite of Aramesir sort of blocks our normal summon Aluber, and normal summon Aluber is one of our key 1-card combos. If you want to replace the Brave engine, I would do so by doing something like this. And here is the pure branded version of the Despia deck. I've included Dark Ruler No More, Fairy Taste Snow, and Mercurier as monster negates. If you don't have these cards, you can go with the standard Infinite Impermanence and Effect Veiler if you so wish. Branded loss, I don't really see it as necessary, but it does help the deck along, being able to summon or at least retrieve a Mercurier to protect your monster from monster effects. Anyways, that's it for the video. Like if you like the video, subscribe if you so desire, and have a great rest of your day.